Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well, and you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey. And don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal. It's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay. So Aquarius, let's get on with your reading for the eclipse period coming up. This is just going to be a general message, so it's not on a personal level. So it's not going to be talking directly about you and your loved ones and etc. It's going to be talking about how this event or how the eclipse is going to affect you. So it's just they just want to come out, don't they? Really, let's be honest. Okay, so yeah, so it's going to be a general reading. Obviously, this is the emotional side. This is the material side, money and finances and stuff like that. And that's the energy that's running through you and your karmic path. First things first, let's be honest. Look at this. You've got 3 of the kings on the table. Okay, so you've got a King of Cups, King of Wands, and the Knight. Oh, sorry, the Knight of Wands. You got 2 Knights. Well, that's quite cool because you've got the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups. The Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. And then you got the Chariot. That's the first time that's come up in a long time in my readings and etc. On the material, let's have a look on the spiritual sort of side. What's going on? It's going to be interesting how this is sort of like, because this is the kicking off. This is what's the sort of instigating of the solar eclipse is going to be like, as I said in the introduction. It's going to be the instigator, and it's going to last for 6 months. And I'll be pulling 6 cards at the end of your monthly readings, which will be in the description below, just to sort of see how this pans out over the next sort of 6 months. And the 5 of Swords as well. Okay, so this may emotionally, what this may emotionally do, because as I said, it may affect the lower part of your petals, and certainly do have, looking at your flower at the moment, and how it pulls on that energy, and I think it's going to be pulling on the water energy more than anything, and you do have a lot of water in your sign, and I think it's going to make it a very emotional time for you, where you may have to choose. It may present something in your life that may ask you to choose between one way or another. That's what it's sort of coming out, but it's not really a choice. It's almost as if it's being forced upon you. You know, you either have to straighten up and fly right, or you're going to have to go round the houses, but you're going to have to really pick out, you know, as you go round the houses, you're going to have to deal with a lot of stuff. And it looks like it's a learning curve for you. This instigation is a learning curve to quell your emotions, to sit on your emotions. And it's going to feel like, you know, I would have thought in the first, this instigating thing will sort of, it may be a case that there's actually a lot of worry around you, and a lot of people who are emotionally stressed. You may feel people's emotional stress around you, or within the collective, or within the world itself, and that may be pushing a bit of pressure on you emotionally. But you know, your karmic path, which is this King of Cups, is to be sincere and serene within your position more than anything. And that's what you got to learn. You got to learn not to get overrun by emotions that go through you. I do lots of meditations on this in regards to like a tea meditation, which is in the book, about how to use meditation in order to redirect those moments of anxiety, which is a good energy actually. It's like that energy before someone goes on a stage, you know, like or before the start of a race, or before you start a new job. It can actually be a really good adrenaline rush in order to give you a good start. And that's what it's looking like on that sort of side. It's going to cause you worries, though, by the looks of things. You know, I'm not going to tell you any lies. It is going to cause you worries. But you have the capacity to deal with it emotionally. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, you've definitely got the capacity to really emotionally sit within yourself and not get carried away with things, because it's an instigation. It's not the finality of it all. Okay, so basically, as it comes in, it looks like it for you, Aquarians, it's going to be very emotional impact upon you. And as it does impact you, don't forget, you have this covered. You've got this. And it looks like your guides here are really they're going to be working overtime in this next sort of like week or so, the beginning part of the next month coming up, which you might well see how that sort of plays out in the monthly readings as we pull the monthly reading on top of these cards here. Now let's go and have a look on the material side of things. You've got the Fool, you've got the Chariot, you've got the Knight of Cups, King of Wands, leading into the Knight of Wands. So it's going to move quickly, and it's going to move very fast. You're going to have to, the universe is sort of take a chance. It's almost as if the eclipse is going to, it's as if like the eclipse is like an earthquake, and that earthquake has actually split a rock in half and crumbled it away, and all of a sudden that's now allowed for a passage for you to go through. And that's what it appears like. Certainly if you sort of like keep on top of your emotions, it's gonna happen like overnight in a way on the material front, financially, and it's gonna sort of like play into that King of Wands. So it's all to do with, it's a passionate thing that's coming up through you, very emotionally charged in regards to work and stuff like that. So it could be a new job, there could be new opportunities coming in. But I think these opportunities are going to be created by you with this Fool card. And if you do seize the moment, you will benefit. You will benefit hugely from it. Because look what you've got there. You've got the Knight of Cups, King of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. That spread over there is really good. It plays beautifully into your water there. But obviously, this is where you get a little bit more in the way of sort of fire with these sort of signs here. You don't have fire in the bottom parts here, but there is coming through from the eclipse is a lot of fire coming through, and it's going to be testing your water. It's going to be testing your emotions. So as we saw on the emotional sort of side of life, you've got to stay within, stay calm and stay present as this sort of things, the shifting sands start happening around you. But on the physical sort of side, it's telling you to move on. So maybe it's a case of concentrating on your physical sort of side. This is going to open opportunities on that side for business, for jobs, for finances and stuff like that. And it's going to come in really quickly. And it's asking you to move quickly more than anything else. So as the opportunity comes, strike like a cobra, man. Get it. Really strike quickly. If someone says, "Oh, I've heard of this opportunity," or "I've heard of this job," say to them, "Okay, yeah, where's this job?" That's what you got to do. That's how quick you got to be. You got to work straight off the hip, as it were. But because you've got these knights and a lot of the kings about, you've got it. The energy that's running through you, so it looks really good on the financial side. It looks like it's going to work for you really nicely. On the energy side that's running through you, you've got the Seven of Wands. So it's all about, this is after a victory. This is where you're sitting calmly waiting for that victory. Or you may feel like that victory is on its way. It's in the process of happening. And you've got to sit there and not be knocked off your perch, basically. And let your passions lead you on throughout this eclipse. Okay, so let's just see what's going to happen in the month of May. We're going to be pulling obviously a full flower here, and we're going to be going to this in a lot more depth. So this is just on top of the instigating sort of solar eclipse. Let's just see what's going on here. Blimey, Aquarius, this is amazing. So to follow this reading, you're going to just go to the links in the description below, and you'll find a description, a link to this monthly reading for the month of May. I'll see you there. In the meantime though, lovely to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe, click that bell so then you can get all notifications in the future. You lovely people, it'd be nice to have you here. Okay, so there you go.